Hey friends, Dave and Ashley Willis here. Welcome to Fridays with Dave and Ashley here on the XO Marriage YouTube channel where you get real marriage advice from real people. If you haven't already, click subscribe and that little notification bell as well so you can be the first to know every time a new marriage enriching video drops. Recently we put out a video called The 5 Things Your Husband is Always Thinking About. So we're doing a follow-up piece to that where Ashley is going to reveal to us 5 questions your wife asks herself every day.
My goodness, there's a lot, okay? And actually neuroscience says that we ask ourselves a lot more questions and are thinking a lot more things than you. And that's not a cut to male intelligence.
You're smarter.
Like you can just look at 2 women talking to each other and it's like a ping pong match going back and forth. And 2 men, a lot of times they won't even face each other.
We're just looking at the screen grunting like, well, that was a good throw right there. That was good.
One question that women ask themselves every day is what is on the to-do list today and can I do it all? This list is usually for ourselves. Sometimes the list involves what they really like their spouse to do too. But I'll talk about kind of the list that we have for ourselves. Like every day, even if I don't write it down, I used to be one that wrote down things and checked them off, like even as a kid. But as I've gotten older, I just kind of keep it going in my mind. But I'm constantly, I'm having this list that I'm checking off. You know, when it comes to things like sex, if our list is too deep, okay, and we have not been able to complete some of those things on the list in our mind, we really have a hard time as women having ourselves in the mental space for romance. It's not that we don't want it, but a lot of times it's that dang list.
That dang list,
guys. Dang list, okay?
So men, if you want to help make sure that moment happens, then help your wife remove some of the stuff from her list.
Right.
Because God in his sense of humor, he made most men look at sex as a form of stress relief, where women need stress relief before they can be in the mindset to make love. So they have to get through their list before they can put their focus on
or
you.
at least a good portion of the list.
Yeah.
We need to also recognize when we're getting too bogged down with the list and realize that life's about more than checking off a list. So number 2, does my husband still find me attractive? Like
Let me answer that for you.
Big one.
Yes.
You're so sweet, and you do this. You go out of your way to tell me I look pretty, even like when I know I am a sweaty mess.
I love all of the variety.
I have like sweater tooth going on.
I love sweaty Ashley. I love.
Oh my gosh.
I love all variations of you.
We do wonder this. I think especially the longer we're married and after we've had a couple kids, we've worked hard, we've aged, whatever it is, whatever season you're in, we do have this, like deep in our heart, we want to make sure that our husband still really has eyes for us and a desire to be with us and finds us fascinating and beautiful. And it's not even just the physical, even more importantly, the spiritual, the emotional, the mental. Number 3, am I succeeding at my job? This was actually something very similar to what we shared on the things that husbands think about. I think it was about achievement, kind of am I achieving enough? And in the same sense, as women, we want to make sure that we are doing a good job. We want to be good workers. We want to be good at what we're doing. And I think that deep inside of us, there is that fear of failure, just like any human being. And so I think one thing husbands can do is really affirm their wife in the hard work that they're doing. Like I know in long seasons of book writing is not for the faint of heart. I mean, it is like my book, Peace Pirates, it was 4 years from the time that I did the proposal to the time that I saw it on bookshelves. I would get really discouraged sometimes, right? But you would always affirm me and like, hey, you got 2,000 more words today. Good job. Or, hey, you booked an interview or whatever it is. And I think just affirming, like, keep going, keep on doing your good job.
And you do an amazing job just in general. Like you're the most productive person I know. So I don't see how you could ever feel unproductive because between what you do at the house, what you do outside the house, your capacity is so much greater than anybody's I know, including my own.
All right. Well, number 4, it says, do I have my priorities in line? We want to make sure we're getting our priorities right. But I think it's so easy, especially when we're in a busy season and we're going on autopilot, that things can get kind of discombobbled and we can feel like, I know for me as a married mom, I often, especially in the years of raising kids when there's multiple toddlers, I really was like, man, am I a good wife and a good mom at the same time? Like, can I even possibly be? And then you add in, work too. There's just all these hats we wear. And so there is this question that we always have. Am I prioritizing things in the way that God would want me to? The Bible's very specific about this in that it's God first, then our spouse, then our kids, and then really, everything else. Work should never come at the expense of our family. All right, last one. Am I a good wife? I mean, that deserves a separate question. And I know throughout our 21-year marriage, I've had times where I did not feel like I was being a good wife. I felt like that I wasn't giving you the attention that you needed because I felt like I could barely even function. And so I felt like I wasn't being a very good wife. And I think with the kids, with, all the different things that need our attention, I would battle that a lot. And so I would even ask you sometimes, I would say, do you feel like I'm a good wife?
And I would always say yes, because we all have seasons and moments in life when when maybe we're not at our best physically, mentally, in whatever capacity, our energy level. I mean, I've had tons of those, my goodness,
Yeah.
with health issues and stress and everything else. But we can still always be a good spouse, and Ashley always has been, because even at her weakest moment, she was still committed. She was still loving. And
Well, I was trying my best, but I mean, we haven't, I know there's been times I've let you down because I'm not perfect. And I
you're
have
about
my,
as close as it gets.
he's very slow to say anything negative about me.
Well, you've helped me. Like, I'm a slob, really. I am. And you've helped me be less of a slob. You
Oh,
know,
my
you've helped
goodness.
raise my standards. And in marriage, we should lovingly, without nitpicking and nagging, we should lovingly kind of help each
Yeah.
other raise standards. And you've certainly done that for me.
But we want to know what you think about this. Like, what other questions, wives, do you ask yourself every day? Please be willing to leave a comment. We love having that back and forth with you guys here on YouTube as well.
Check out the Naked Marriage Podcast and come to one of our upcoming live events, exomarriage.com. You can get the full schedule. We would love to see you there.